Well, hello, Petra.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in today.
Yes, thank you for seeing me.
So I was gonna check how you're doing. Just was kind of wondering about you. Last time we had discussed that you had really shown some growth. As far as we had talked about you letting Brandon have some input and giving him the reins over Mason, and then you had kind of come over feeling not so sad about Yaya not being
There.
in the family, pretty much, because that's pretty much how it was.
Right, yeah.
So anyway, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that, and I'll just listen a minute and see how.
Things are good. I'm okay with the Yaya thing now. I'm okay with I'm retracting my reins a little bit from Brandon because we have a lot going on. We sold our house. We're buying a house. Just a whole lot going on. So,
Okay.
I'm taking the reins back just until stuff gets smooth again, and then I'll give them another try.
Okay. So you kind of are figuring out that balance
Yeah.
of when things are tight on the scheduling and all the tasks that need to be done. You're gonna more or less be the oversight, make sure all these things get done. And then when things calm down again,
I can take a step back.
right. So are you feeling okay about that, or?
Yeah, just stressed with everything that needs to be done, and I know that I can delegate it out, but for right now, I would rather be stressed and know that it's getting done the way I want it to, than to be stressed wondering if it got done.
Right. Well, and I noticed, and I'm an older mom than you, because mine are grown now. My youngest is 25. So I noticed that I go back in my mind and I rethink how things went when the kids were younger. And I wondered if that's something that you, as an organizer and a planner, and I mentioned this to you that you're very quick, and I'm wondering if you pick up on that kind of stuff even before you get older, like me, right? Like right now, you maybe reassess how things go and make corrections, almost like on-the-job training.
Right. Yeah.
And so I've noticed that about you, and I wondered if that's kind of your natural reassess how we did that. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to keep on going.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
And so then when you come across a time that things aren't going so well, talk to me about that. How does your need to be a planner and organize, how do you feel when those kind of things happen?
I feel ghastly. I feel like I'm just losing control, and I don't handle it well, because then I become angry and then I lash out at everybody because things aren't going exactly how I want them to.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking about it. You and I had talked about maybe making a plan and going forward.
Yeah.
Well, I found a type of intervention that may work for you and I, because it's brief, it's to the point, simple, and it just kind of trains us to think. And it's called, the acronym is WDEP. It was presented by, first it came out of some work with a man named Glasser, and he was born in 1925, but he practiced all the way through this century. And I think it really got started when people started to listen to him about what we call choice theory or reality therapy, where you're visiting with your counselor back and forth about what's happening now, and you're not going over a lot of past trauma and all that. What you're talking about is your current choices and what makes you make these choices, and where do you get where you want to be right now. And so this guy named Dr. Wobolding came along, and he kind of made that go further by setting up kind of a plan. And it's very simple to remember. The acronym is WDEP. So the counselor would visit, you and I would visit about things that you currently want. What do you want? That's the W. And then we would say D, what are we doing? What are you doing to get there? And then after a time, after we've worked a while on the wants, and then we've worked a while on evaluating, that's the next step, is evaluating. Evaluating the wants and what we're doing, and see if this is in line with your life plan. And then we go into a planning mode, and we look at things that can be attained. So say somebody wants to live in, a want would be like, I want to live in a gold-plated high-rise. So what are you doing? Well, maybe this person is not taking any finance courses, doesn't know anything about money, and doesn't know about investments, doesn't know about real estate. So he's not in line really with getting what he wants. But what's attainable? So even though his want seems kind of bizarre, and he's not doing anything, we found that out in the evaluation. The plan could be that he starts to study investments, or he starts to study realty, or that he even looks at do some research on how many people actually live in a gold-plated high-rise.
Or he could become friends with Donald Trump.
That's right. See, there you go. So that's the premise of it, and I think that you and I would do well, because we would talk about what you want, and I'm just pulling this out of the air. Possibly you want more peace internally when transitions come that screw up this orderly state of affairs.
But I find that I have more peace when I'm in control and my stuff is
So that's what I'm saying, is your want is, though, on the times that things don't
work out.
That things when you get thrown for a loop. So I'm thinking that might be a thing where we could work on. Now that may not be a want of yours right now. We would look at what is it that you want, and what are we doing, and what are you in particular doing to feel better about your goal, and then we're going to evaluate and then plan. So what do you think of that as a focus?
That sounds good.
To use that little acronym, and even just talking about it, it's kind of nice, because you'll have that in your head now, and then you might see some situation and you might apply that, and so it's not a hard, it's not a hard a time I think that I felt like I had to use something like this was when I went back to school after my divorce. I was married 23 years. That's a long time. And I went back to school, and I wanted to see to myself, what should I do now? So I kind of used a similar method of evaluating, okay, here's where I'm at right now. What do I want? What am I going to do? And so I had been trained in family and child development and social work, but I knew that I had this in my head about psychology. And so when I went back to school, I focused on, what am I doing? Okay, I have all these hours. What can they apply to? And a lot of it applied right into psychology, and this is what I decided it would be in line with me ever becoming a counselor. So I made a plan for that. So I was just going to share that with you, because I know that you're a great planner. So this would fall right in line, and you can probably teach me by the things that you come up with. I'm excited to say that.
I'll come up with something.
Because I know that between you and I, we have the relational where I give an idea, you give an idea. We kind of go back and forth like that, and that's how I feel is a good counseling session for us.
Yeah.
But I do want to use some empirically based, which means this type of intervention has been studied, has been reviewed by peers, researched through, and shown to be effective.
Yeah.
For a lot of different things.
Right.
And matter of fact, even effective for some more serious things than what you and I discuss on anxiety or,
right.
So I just wanted to share that with you. And
thank you. That sounds like it's something that would help.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I could apply. That wouldn't be like. Oh.
Right, and I like the simplicity of it, and I like the acronym.
Yeah.
And I like that it's grounded in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Reality theory is more like, we're not going to sit here and you and I go over, oh, boo-hoo, everything that happened before.
Right.
And what has brought you to this serious juncture in your life, that kind of a feeling, that heavy feeling. This is more like, hey, so what do you feel about that? Okay, what are we doing? Let's make a plan. And I feel like you as a quick-minded person would really benefit from something quick, brief, and you have a directed goal.
Right, yeah. I love goals.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm really glad that you came in today.
So am I.
And what do you think? Do you have any questions for me on this? I think that we've kind of went over the things that I wanted to talk about. We didn't really talk a whole lot about this new transition coming up for you, about the move. But you could start applying this WDEP now whenever you get a thought that this is overwhelming. Okay, what are we doing? Well, we have to buy a house because at some point we're going to
have to move, right?
And even though it came really early, we're taking steps. We're actually going out this weekend to see it. So,
that's very helpful.
I think so. I think that's, and then you can apply it down to even the smallest little thing or into a huge plan set, of goals for life and, so I think it's something we can use.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I just want to make sure that you're feeling okay today and you're not having any thoughts of like self-harm or anything like that.
No, I'm feeling good, and I like the information that you gave me today.
Okay, well, and then we've got to remember about self-care and make sure that, because you're the caretaker for everybody else, and so you remember that I'm here. We have walk-in hours. You can call anytime. You've got my cell, and I will be the encourager because I think you're just doing so well, and I appreciate that you continue to come back and visit with me, and we have been seeing a lot of growth between us in these conversations.
It's been very helpful.
I appreciate it. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I guess I'll plan on seeing you next time.
Yes, we'll see you next time.
Okay, and then you can let me know how this new house is.
Absolutely.
And what your feelings are about that.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.